Poland may need you, a second start for the West's forgotten workers. Imagine a man in Phoenix, Arizona. He is 42 years old and has spent almost 2 decades repairing diesel engines. He can diagnose a failing fuel injector by sound. He can rebuild a gearbox and keep a delivery fleet moving. Tonight, he is sleeping in his pickup truck, not because he has no skills, not because he has never worked. His rent rose, his hours fell, and then a medical bill arrived. He is not unskilled, he is unhoused. Those are not the same thing. More than 5,000 miles away, companies are struggling to find drivers, electricians, welders, nurses, caregivers, mechanics, and machine operators. The population is shrinking. Unemployment is among the lowest in Europe, and the economy has reached approximately $1 trillion. That country is Poland. So here's the question. What if Poland offered a carefully controlled second start to skilled people whom wealthy Western societies have pushed to the edge? Welcome to Ollie K. Political. America is not about to disappear. It remains a military, financial, and technological superpower. Poland is not a paradise either. Polish salaries are lower than American, British, Canadian, or Australian salaries. Housing in our largest cities is expensive compared with local wages. Bureaucracy can be slow. Polish is difficult. And the war in Ukraine is taking place close to our borders. This is not a travel advertisement. It is an argument about wasted human potential. Across the Western world, national wealth is growing while many working people are losing stability. A mechanic, driver, nurse, carer, or warehouse worker can do everything society expects and still remain one illness, one rent increase, or one lost job away from crisis. Poland faces the opposite problem in several industries. We need people who can keep factories, workshops, buses, hospitals, warehouses, and care homes operating. That creates a possible exchange. Poland can offer selected workers a safer and more predictable second start. Those workers can offer Poland the labor, experience, and tax base that our aging society needs. But it must be legal, selective, and honest. In 2024, almost 36 million Americans lived below the official poverty line. More than 18 million households experienced food insecurity. In more than 7 million, people reduced portions or skipped meals because there was not enough money for food. During a single night in January of that year, the federal homelessness count found more than 771,000 people without stable housing. It was the highest number recorded in the history of that count. And this was only a snapshot. It did not include every person sleeping on a friend's sofa, moving between motels, or hiding inside a vehicle. For many people, homelessness does not begin with addiction. It begins with mathematics. Rent, food, fuel, insurance, childcare, medicine, debt. More than 21 million American renter households were considered cost-burdened in 2023 because they spent over 30% of their income on housing. Around 27 million Americans had no health insurance for the entire following year. About 15 million still had medical bills recorded on their credit reports. A medical emergency can become a housing emergency. A housing emergency can become an employment emergency. At the end of 2023, more than 1,250,000 people were held in American state and federal prisons. This did not include the entire population of local jails. The system can remove people from society very effectively. it is less successful at returning them with housing, work, treatment, and a realistic route back to stability. A criminal record blocks employment. Prison can destroy housing. Lost housing makes employment harder. The cycle continues. This is not only a moral failure, it is an economic waste. The man sleeping in a truck may still be an excellent mechanic. The woman in temporary accommodation may still be a dedicated nurse. Poverty is a condition. It is not a complete description of a human being. America is the starting point, not the whole story. At the end of 2025, more than 134,000 households in England were living in temporary accommodation. They included more than 176,000 dependent children. In Canada, real house prices have outpaced disposable incomes dramatically since the global financial crisis. In Australia, housing affordability has become one of the fastest growing reasons why working people seek specialist homelessness support. Different countries have different institutions, but the feeling is similar. You learned a trade, you worked, you paid your bills, and the floor still moved beneath you. Gross domestic product tells us how much an economy produces. It does not tell us whether a plumber can afford to live near the city that needs his labor. There's also security. Some Western countries face recurring terrorist plots, political extremism, mass violence, or serious street disorder. Poland is not immune. We face Russian sabotage, espionage, and hybrid operations, and we live close to the war in Ukraine. However, everyday public space in Poland remains comparatively safe. Terrorism and violent street disorder are not routine elements of daily life. For somebody rebuilding a life, that predictability has genuine value. Poland has experienced one of the most successful economic transformations in modern Europe. We moved from communist shortages to membership in NATO, the European Union, and global supply chains. Depending on exchange rates and current forecasts, Poland is either among or very close to the world's 20 largest economies by nominal output. But success has created a new limit. We do not have enough workers. In the first quarter of 2026, unemployment measured through the labor force survey was only 3.3%. The National Occupational Forecast identified shortages of truck and bus drivers, doctors, nurses, welders, electricians, carers, machine operators, installation fitters, warehouse workers, and vocational teachers. The needs differ between regions. A profession may be in shortage in one county and balanced in another. Intelligent migration policy must therefore connect a specific worker with a specific employer and a specific place. The more profound problem is population. Poland had a little over 37 million residents in 2025. Official projections suggest that by 2060, the population may fall to around 31 million. The working age population may shrink to approximately 71% of its level from 2022. Immigration cannot solve this alone. Poland also requires productivity, automation, housing, childcare, and better conditions for Polish families. But demography will not wait for one perfect answer. The choice is not between zero immigration and uncontrolled immigration. The real choice is between migration shaped by national strategy and migration shaped by accidents and last-minute shortages. This is not a proposal to import poverty or select people by race, religion, or nationality. It is a proposal to recruit verified skills, work readiness, and a willingness to integrate. Poland needs doctors, nurses, engineers, and information technology specialists. But a modern economy also depends on electricians, welders, mechanics, plumbers, machine operators, drivers, warehouse specialists, carers, and maintenance technicians. These are not second-class jobs. When the power fails, nobody calls a political scientist. When a truck breaks down, a presentation cannot repair it. When an older person needs help getting out of bed, an algorithm is not enough. A foreign qualification does not transfer automatically. Doctors, nurses, teachers, professional drivers, and some technical specialists may require formal recognition, Polish certification, language competence, or additional examinations. In an unregulated profession, the employer normally evaluates the candidate's skills. The essential questions are simple. Is the profession regulated? Is it genuinely in shortage in the employer's county? Can the candidate work safely, and will the employer provide language training? Poland can offer public safety, functioning cities, access to European markets, public health care for insured workers, and an economy that values technical competence. It cannot offer an American salary with Polish prices. The statutory minimum monthly wage in 2026 is 4,806 zloty before tax. The median gross monthly wage reported for August of the previous year was 7,280 zloty. Many specialists earn more, but candidates must compare complete local budgets rather than simply convert salaries into dollars. Housing in Warsaw, Krakow, Gdańsk, or Wrocław can be expensive. Before accepting work, a candidate must check rent, deposit, utilities, transport, and every deduction connected with employer-provided accommodation. English can be a bridge at the beginning. It is not a permanent replacement for Polish. In a workshop, warehouse, hospital, care home, or building site, safety instructions and relationships happen in Polish. A serious candidate should start learning before arrival. A serious employer should provide vocational Polish after arrival. Integration is a two-sided obligation. Let us return to our mechanic in Phoenix. What can he legally do today? First, he should not buy a one-way ticket and hope to solve everything after arriving. An American may visit the Schengen area without a visa for a limited time, but visa-free entry does not create a general right to work. His first step is to prepare evidence: a valid passport, a clear curriculum vitae, employment history, references, certificates, licenses, and photographs of completed work where appropriate. Next, he checks whether his profession is regulated in Poland. Higher education diplomas can be checked through the official Qualificator system. For an unregulated trade, practical experience may matter more than a degree. Then he searches for a real employer. He should use Poland's Public Employment Service, the Central Job Vacancies Database, and EURES. If he uses a private employment agency, he must verify it in the official KRAZ register. He should ask one direct question. Will you obtain a work permit for a citizen of a country outside the European Union? For an American, the simplified procedure used for citizens of several neighboring countries does not apply. The Polish employer normally applies electronically for the work permit. The candidate should receive both the permit and a detailed written offer. He must check the gross salary, estimated net salary, weekly hours, overtime, workplace, accommodation, deductions, notice period, and who pays for travel. After the permit is issued, the candidate applies for a Polish national work visa. Arizona is served by the Polish consulate in Los Angeles. The application begins through the official e-consulat system, but the applicant must appear in person. Required documents normally include a passport, photographs, travel medical insurance, proof of funds, accommodation, travel arrangements, the original work permit, and a letter from the employer. The exact list must always be checked on the consulate's current website. A work permit does not guarantee a visa. A visa does not guarantee admission at the border. This is where poverty becomes a legal barrier. A person sleeping in a vehicle may have excellent skills, but still be unable to finance insurance, documents, the journey to the consulate, the flight, and the first weeks in Poland. The present system does not bridge that gap. After arrival, the employer must provide a written contract in a language the worker understands. Its terms must correspond to the work permit. The employer registers an employee for social and health insurance. The worker obtains a PESEL identification number where legally required. For a longer stay, the next stage is normally a temporary residence and work permit through the official MOS system. The worker must never surrender his passport, work without a written contract, or trust anyone promising guaranteed residence in exchange for money. European Union, European Economic Area, and Swiss citizens have a simpler route. They may work without a work permit, although residence registration is normally required for a longer stay. And at this point, I want to speak directly to the Polish diaspora, to the children and grandchildren of Poles living across the world. Perhaps your Polish is fluent. Perhaps you understand more than you can speak. Perhaps the language survived in your family only through a few expressions, Christmas traditions, recipes, photographs, and the stories of your grandparents. You may still visit Poland, maintain contact with relatives, or simply feel that this country is part of your identity. If you have professional skills and are considering a new beginning, Poland should be speaking to you first. You are part of a wider Polish community, whose connection with the country may have weakened but did not disappear. This appeal also concerns descendants of Poles who were deported, exiled, or trapped beyond Poland's borders by war, occupation, and communist repression. Some Polish families did not leave because they rejected Poland. History removed Poland from them. For eligible families, the legal route may be considerably easier. Some descendants may already possess Polish citizenship and need official confirmation rather than a new status. Others may qualify for the Karta Polaka. The Karta Polaka is not citizenship, a passport, or an automatic residence permit. It confirms belonging to the Polish nation. Applicants normally need to demonstrate Polish ancestry or qualifying activity within a Polish community, basic knowledge of Polish, familiarity with Polish traditions, and a genuine connection with the country. Its holder may work without a work permit and use a route towards permanent residence. After meeting additional residence and language requirements, Polish citizenship may later become possible. There is also a separate and narrower repatriation route, created mainly for people of Polish origin or their ancestors who suffered deportation, exile, and persecution in the Asian territories of the former Soviet Union. It has strict territorial, historical, and documentary requirements, but can lead directly to Polish citizenship and may include eligible family members. So, if your grandfather was Polish, if your grandmother was deported, if Polish remained alive inside your family, do not assume that the door is closed. Gather family records, old Polish documents, and evidence of deportation or persecution. Contact the appropriate Polish consulate and ask which legal route applies to you. And if you also bring experience as a mechanic, nurse, electrician, engineer, carer, driver, teacher, welder, or entrepreneur, then Poland should not merely permit your return. Poland should actively welcome it. Come with your family. Rebuild the connection. Recover the language. Bring your experience and become part of Poland's future. You are not being asked to erase the country in which you were born. You are being invited to rediscover the country from which your family came. If Poland genuinely wants to recruit skilled people who lack the money to relocate, it needs a program that does not yet exist. I would call it Skills Bridge Poland. It would not be mass immigration or permanent welfare. It would be a small, employer-led pilot for verified shortage occupations. Employers would publish precise vacancies in regions with documented needs. Candidates would apply remotely, submit references, and demonstrate practical ability. Qualifications and security information would be verified before travel. Every participant would receive a signed contract, named workplace, salary, start date, and clear accommodation terms. The program could then bridge the one-time costs that exclude poor candidates: documents, insurance, consular travel, the flight, and between 8 and 12 weeks of temporary accommodation. Support could come from employers, municipalities, and a limited repayable travel loan. Language training would begin online before departure and continue as paid vocational Polish after arrival. Each worker would receive a local mentor to help with transport, healthcare registration, banking, and housing. Contracts would be audited. Pay would have to be comparable to that of Polish workers performing comparable work. Recruitment fees and hidden accommodation deductions would be prohibited. There must also be a safe way to report abuse without immediately losing legal status. If the pilot failed, it should be redesigned or closed. If it worked, it could be expanded carefully. The man sleeping in his pickup truck does not need our pity. He needs an honest opportunity. Perhaps his qualifications will not transfer. Perhaps the salary will not work. Perhaps he will decide to remain in Arizona. This is not a promise that every person belongs in Poland. It is a proposal that Poland should learn to recognize talent in places where other systems see only failure. The Western world is very good at pricing homes, shares, technology, and data. It is often less successful at valuing the person who repairs the machine, drives the bus, cares for the patient, or keeps the warehouse moving. Poland can allow demographic decline to weaken its economy, while discussing migration only through fear and slogans. Or it can create a narrow, controlled, and humane system connecting verified people with verified needs. Not charity, not chaos, not a replacement for Polish workers. A fair exchange. You bring skill, effort, and a willingness to become part of the country. Poland gives you a legal pathway, a real contract, protection from abuse, and a genuine chance to begin again. If you are watching from America, Britain, Canada, Australia, or elsewhere, do not buy a ticket because of this episode. Check whether your profession is regulated. Check the shortage map. Find the employer first. Verify every document. Start learning Polish. Then ask yourself a serious question. Not whether Poland is perfect. It is not. Ask whether your skills might find a better future in a country that urgently needs people like you. And to Polish viewers, if our economy needs workers and our population is shrinking, should we wait passively? Or should Poland deliberately invite people who are ready to work, integrate, and help build the next chapter of our country? Tell me what you think in the comments. This was Ollie K. Political. Thank you for listening.